Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A structure in a hollow organ, like the heart, with a flap to ensure one-way flow of fluid through it. Control consisting of a mechanical device for controlling the flow of a fluid. Device in a brass wind instrument for varying the length of the air column to alter the pitch of a tone. One of the paired hinged shells of certain mollusks and brachiopods. The entire one-piece shell of a snail and certain other mollusks. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. The people in a society considered as a system organized by a characteristic pattern of relationships. Sociologists have studied the changing structure of the family. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. He has good bone structure. A thing constructed, a complex entity constructed of many parts. The structure consisted of a series of arches. Give a structure to. I need to structure my days. The complex composition of knowledge as elements and their combinations. His lectures have no structure. The manner of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts. Artists must study the structure of the human body. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. Someone who maintains and audits business accounts. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. A person who directs and restrains. Handle and cause to function. Control the lever. Exercise authoritative control or power over. Control the budget. Lessen the intensity of. Temper. Hold in restraint. Hold or keep within limits. Control your anger. A standard against which other conditions can be compared in a scientific experiment. The control condition was inappropriate for the conclusions he wished to draw. Place under restrictions. Limit access to by law. This substance is controlled. Discipline in personal and social activities. She never lost control of herself. Be careful or certain to do something. Make certain of something. Control the quality of the product. Maintain influence over others or oneself, skillfully, usually to one's advantage. She is a very controlling mother and doesn't let her children grow up. The state that exists when one person or group has power over another. Check or regulate. A scientific experiment, by conducting a parallel experiment or comparing with another standard. Are you controlling for the temperature? Great skillfulness and knowledge of some subject or activity. A mechanism that controls the operation of a machine. The speed controller on his turntable was not working properly. Have a firm understanding or knowledge of. Be on top of. Do you control these data? A relation of constraint of one entity, thing or person or group, by another. Measures for the control of disease. A spiritual agency that is assumed to assist the medium during a séance. Physiology. Regulation or maintenance of a function or action or reflex, etc. The timing and control of his movements were unimpaired. Power to direct or determine. Under control. The activity of managing or exerting control over something. The control of the mob by the police was admirable. The economic policy of controlling or limiting or curbing prices or wages, etc. They wanted to repeal all the legislation that imposed economic controls. Verify by using a duplicate register for comparison. Control an account. Any clever maneuver. He would stoop to any device to win a point. An emblematic design, especially in heraldry. He was recognized by the device on his shield. An instrumentality invented for a particular purpose. The device is small enough to wear on your wrist. Any ornamental pattern or design, as in embroidery. Something in an artistic work designed to achieve a particular effect. Remove the husks from. Hard outer covering or case of certain organisms such as arthropods and turtles. Come out better in a competition, race, or conflict. The exterior covering of a bird's egg. The housing or outer covering of something. A metal sheathing of uniform thickness, such as the shield attached to an artillery piece to protect the gunners. Use explosives on. The enemy has been shelling us all day. Create by using explosives. A very light, narrow racing boat. Ammunition consisting of a cylindrical metal casing containing an explosive charge and a projectile, fired from a large gun. A rigid covering that envelops an object. The satellite is covered with a smooth shell of ice. Fall out of the pod or husk. The corn shell. Hit the pitches of hard and regularly. He shelled the pitcher for 8 runs in the first inning. Look for and collect shells by the seashore. Remove from its shell or outer covering. Shell the legumes. The hard, largely calcareous covering of a mollusk or a brachiopod. The hard, usually fibrous outer layer of some fruits, especially nuts. The material that forms the hard outer covering of many animals. A small valve. A valve to control one-way flow of blood. A valve to control one-way flow of blood. An implant that replaces a natural cardiac valve. Valve between the ileum of the small intestine and the cecum of the large intestine. Prevents material from flowing back from the large to the small intestine. A small valve. A small valve. Chemistry. A substance that initiates or accelerates a chemical reaction without itself being affected. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. A scientific instrument that increases the kinetic energy of charged particles. A valve that regulates the supply of fuel to the engine. Any valve that checks flow by the seating of a ball. A valve in a carburetor that consists of a disc that turns and acts as a throttle. Become stultified, suppressed, or stifled. Become or cause to become obstructed. Wring the neck of. The man choked his opponent. A coil of low resistance and high inductance used in electrical circuits to pass direct current and attenuate alternating current. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Impair the respiration of or obstruct the air passage of. Struggle for breath. Have insufficient oxygen intake. Suppress the development, creativity, or imagination of. Reduce the air supply. Choke a carburetor. Be too tight. Rub or press. Cause to retch or choke. Constrict someone's throat and keep from breathing. A valve that controls the flow of air into the carburetor of a gasoline engine. Breathe with great difficulty, as when experiencing a strong emotion. She choked with emotion when she spoke about her deceased husband. Check or slow down the action or effect of. She choked her anger. Fail to perform adequately due to tension or agitation. The team should have won hands down but choked, disappointing the coach and the audience. Make a rattling sound. A sharp abrupt noise as if two objects hit together, may be repeated. Speak about unimportant matters, rapidly and incessantly. A simple valve with a hinge on one side allows fluid to flow in only one direction. Make a clucking sounds, characteristic of hens. A simple valve with a hinge on one side allows fluid to flow in only one direction. A simple valve with a hinge on one side allows fluid to flow in only one direction. Remove oneself from a familiar environment, usually for pleasure or diversion. We escaped to our summer house for a few days. A valve in a container in which pressure can build up. As a steam boiler, it opens automatically when the pressure reaches a dangerous level. Be incomprehensible to. Escape understanding by. Non-performance of something distasteful, as by deceit or trickery, that you are supposed to do. That escape from the consequences is possible but unattractive. Fail to experience. The discharge of a fluid from some container. They tried to stop the escape of gas from the damaged pipe. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. The burglars escaped before the police showed up. Run away from confinement. The convicted murderer escaped from a high-security prison. An inclination to retreat from unpleasant realities through diversion or fantasy. Romantic novels were her escape from the stress of daily life. The act of escaping physically. He made his escape from the mental hospital. Escape potentially unpleasant consequences. Get away with a forbidden action. A means or way of escaping. Hard work was his escape from worry. An avoidance of danger or difficulty. That was a narrow escape. A plant originally cultivated but now growing wild. Issue or leak, as from a small opening. Gas escaped into the bedroom. A valve in a container in which pressure can build up. As a steam boiler, it opens automatically when the pressure reaches a dangerous level. A valve in a container in which pressure can build up. As a steam boiler, it opens automatically when the pressure reaches a dangerous level. A valve through which burned gases from a cylinder escape into the exhaust manifold. A valve that controls the flow of fluid through an intake. A mushroom-shaped valve that rises perpendicularly from its seat, commonly used in internal combustion engines. A mushroom-shaped valve that rises perpendicularly from its seat, commonly used in internal combustion engines. A valve in a container in which pressure can build up. As a steam boiler, It opens automatically when the pressure reaches a dangerous level.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.